Hello, everyone. I'm Catherine Anaya. Thank you so much for joining me for the Women's Eye podcast, where you will meet fascinating women who are leaving their mark, making a difference, and changing lives. This episode is brought to you by Casco Financial Group in Phoenix, Arizona. Catherine Scrivano is the president of Casco Financial Group, and she founded her business to help people create the financial strength needed for achieving their dreams. Speaking of strength, my guest today is six-time Olympic gold medal swimmer, spinal cord injury warrior, and adaptive CrossFit competitor, Amy Van Dyken. And Amy, I am so happy to have you finally on the Women's Eye podcast. I think we've been trying to do this for a couple of years now.
We have, and I don't know what happened and why it wasn't working out, but listen, now you know that I'm nowhere, so let's get it done, girl.
I said, she's sheltered in place just like me. I am going to nab her. I'm so glad.
I love it. I'm so happy
great to see you.
Good to
Thank
see you.
Well, so how are you doing in this pandemic situation we find ourselves in?
I hate to say it, but I'm doing okay. I mean, I have got kind of a routine down now. So I wake up and I have my coffee, and then I go to the garage and I work out. And I give myself a good, hour and a half to just rock it out. And then I'll go and read, which is something that I've been needing to do for so long. I think we're still lucky here in Arizona, right? Because we have the outdoors as well. So I go in my backyard and, kind of hang out by the pool, try to work on my tan. So I'm actually doing okay. The cooking is driving me nuts. I think, like all of us, the fact that I married someone who chews as loudly as he does and breathes as loudly as he does, I think we're all in this boat, shocks me.
Well, I think
we can make it.
The little things are big things. And when I say that, I mean gratitude for all the little things that we didn't have time to enjoy. And then the little things that are now becoming annoying.
Right. It's so funny. And it's so funny, like the little things that you hear that you're like, oh my gosh, I need to get that fixed. Oh my gosh, I need to do that. And they just become so huge. It's out of control. I mean, I literally looked at my husband one day and I said, you need to stop breathing because it's a lot. Poor guy.
You need to find something to do so we don't kill each other.
Exactly, right? When we're all in the same boat.
But honestly, I mean, you have been so positive about this whole experience and everything that you have been through in your life. If anybody is not following you on Instagram, social media, they need to be, because you are such a constant reminder of what's important in life. And I appreciate that so much about you. You are this beacon of positivity. You've been that way for so long. And I want to talk to you about, because I read somewhere where you wrote that professional athletes, they just have this resilience about them. And I think that's a word that a lot of us in this pandemic situation are trying to find, experience, feel, because it's not normal for us to be in a situation like this. So in your opinion, what does it take for somebody like me or whoever's watching who maybe is not a professional athlete to find that resilience in the face of physical or emotional challenges?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's tough. When I was an athlete, right, I had 6 hours a day where I stared at this black line, and I could fix anything I wanted to in that day, right? I was having a disagreement with my coach. I could go over scenarios in my head. I think by doing that and by giving yourself that time to yourself, it really does help. So in the day when you're having a hard time, maybe just step away for 5 minutes. Do a little something for yourself. Maybe you pray, maybe you read the Bible, maybe you meditate, maybe you have a conversation that you're having to your husband about his chewing in your head and how would it go, right? So give yourself that time. And I think that it really does help. And if that's something that's not working for you, let's say that your children are driving you nuts, just smile just a little bit. And that one smile is going to turn into 2, 5, 10, and all of a sudden you have a great day. So this is not normal. Neither is staring at a black line and being in a pool for 8 hours, right? So you kind of just look at it and you go, nothing is normal. Having children, right, in your house all the time is just not normal. Enjoy it. Just take a moment and realize what a beautiful gift they are. And then they can drive you nuts with their breathing and their chewing. It's fine.
It's all about perspective, right?
It really is. Yeah, but it's just, Catherine, it's just giving yourself that time. We all forget to give ourselves time. We're always there as women for everybody else. Like your kids didn't want the meatloaf that you made. So, you try to change it to make them happy, but you need to make yourself happy too. And I think that we all kind of forget that, and we all get lost in the shuffle. And so we need to find ourselves again in that shuffle. And I think that's really going to help, this time, because you can clear your mind and not have to worry about taking care of everybody else. This is a powerful thing. We need to take really good care of it.
Well, we need to give ourselves some grace. You mentioned when you were an athlete, you are an athlete, because in case people don't know, you, as I mentioned, are an adaptive CrossFit competitor now. You came in second in the games last year, which is huge. How did it feel to get those juices going again, those competitive juices going again?
Oh, Catherine, I was worried. I was really worried because, if you look back in my competitive history, I got a little gnarly, right? But we all grow up.
So there was no spitting in the other swimmer's lane?
No, and it was so funny. Oh my goodness, because the first event was swimming, and everyone kept looking at me to see if I was going to spit in someone's lane. I'm like, I'm not even going to put water in my mouth, not even when I'm swimming. But it felt so awesome to be there with people who are training as hard, if not harder than you are, and to be able to just not just do it yourself, but to watch other competitors do things and do amazing things. I mean, a part of the adaptive community is, we've got athletes who are double amputees, quadruple amputees, if you will. But to watch a one-armed athlete climb a rope, I'm telling you what, if you're having an awful day being in quarantine, right, look that up. That will change your mind. But to get back out there, Catherine, on the floor, and then to hear the 3, 2, 1 and the whistle, oh my, I'm giving myself chills right now. Like, it was the best thing ever. And, we talk about how you can grow up a little bit. Before I was very, and sitting in my competitor's lane, and I caught myself in every workout cheering for my competitors.
Oh,
it was
the
beautiful. Weirdest thing, right? But that's what it is, right? Like, that's what life is. Like, we're all in this thing together. Life is crazy. Life is nutty, and we've got to just cheer for each other. But also cheer for yourself. Give yourself a little pat on the back. So it felt good to do that. It felt so good to do that. I can't wait to do it again.
I'm so excited for you. We were all in Arizona just cheering you on, and so proud to see you reach that level of competitiveness again. It was just marvelous to watch. Speaking of competitiveness, as you talked about, being a former swimmer and, having that sort of rough edge about you, what I noticed right off the bat, first, for people who don't know, you were in an ATV accident 6 years ago that severed your spine, and you are paralyzed from the waist down. You've been quoted as saying, "I'm on borrowed time. I'm not supposed to be here." Yet you came out of that hospital more positive than I ever remember you being. What happened in that time? Because you died, right?
I did. I died a few times. And I don't know if it mushes all together or whatever, but I did see what some people would consider the light. It was very different than what I had heard. For me, I knew that it was a time of panic, and I knew that it was a time of, oh my goodness, this is awful. But I felt comforted. I was warm. It was almost like there was a tunnel like around me, and I love color. So it was all colorful and just beautiful. Now, I didn't see anybody. I didn't, that I remember, but like, that happened. So when I came to, I was like, okay, wait a minute. I got sent back here for a reason. So we need to get this stuff together. And, you need to realize that could have been it. And then, your husband is lost without you. So, and I had told him before I went into surgery, like, I want you to date, I want you to get married. And I'm like, oh, no, you're not getting rid of me that quickly, sir. So, it's one of those things where I was like, you know what, I'm here for a reason, and we've got to make it awesome. And we've got to look at what I was doing right in my life and continue doing it. And let's look at things that I really needed to improve on. And let's try to improve on that. And I'm not saying that, I all of a sudden became this perfect human, because if you follow me on any social media, that is not accurate. But I do try my best to right my wrongs. And I think that that's just important. And I think we're all on borrowed time, right? I mean, I was coming home from dinner and my life almost ended. You hear about people who, turn the corner and their life is over, and it's just heartbreaking. So I realize that life is so precious, and I'm going to make every day as awesome as I can make it, because I don't want to be known as a sourpuss, or as someone who just spits at people. So, so I had to get it all together, right? And so hopefully, I'm a work in progress, as we all are, but we are all on borrowed time, and just, try to enjoy it. Music is on, dance, or sing, whatever.
So
Like, don't
wonderful.
be afraid. It's
Yes.
fine. Like, you're in the Costco getting down. Hey, you're fine. I'm probably in aisle 6 doing the same thing.
I love that. And we get down in church, by the way, too. We're always in the same area in church, and we do get down in church.
Oh, girl, because that music is awesome.
By the way, I do miss seeing you at church. Can't wait for this situation to be over so we can get back in there.
I know, it's going to be so awesome. Can you imagine, like, that first service back? Oh, Pastor Travis is just going to be en fuego.
It's going to be definitely one for the books. I want to go back to that moment in the hospital. When you came out of the hospital, you did not walk out as you intended to, but you came out, like I mentioned, seeming to be this even more positive person than you were before the accident. And that says a lot, which I think stunned even your doctors, right? With the amount of gratitude that you had for where you were. How much of that is the competitor in you who says, oh no, nobody or nothing has control over me? And how much of that was that faith and that purpose that you were talking about?
I would say 99% of that was the faith. It really was, because I shouldn't be happy. I can't feel anything from my belly button down. I'm going to go there. I don't know when I have to use the ladies' room. I have to do it on a timer. So, and that can get interesting from time to time. So I shouldn't be happy, but I am, because I know that I am here for some reason. And something that's going to sound strange is, when I got out of ICU and they put me on the main floor and they started getting me in a wheelchair, I felt very comfortable in a wheelchair. It's very strange. So I look at it and I go, this is my purpose, right? My purpose right now is to give a face and a voice to those that don't have a face and a voice, and to teach people not to be afraid of us. I think the reason that when you see someone who is different, that we kind of shy away is because we don't know how to treat them, right? Am I supposed to ask them if they need help? Am I not? So I think that we then shy away. So that's my purpose. And I felt that from the moment that I got out of the hospital. And I think that's why I was happy, because I had that purpose. We all need to have a purpose in life. And, when you find it, you're going to find your joy. And it's just awesome.
Well, you were honest about the fact that not every day is amazing for you. And I appreciate that about you, because like you said, you throw it all out there on social media. You're raw, you're honest, the good, the bad, the ugly. But there's still that underlying positivity with it. And it is inspiring for a lot of people. So what is it that you want people to learn from you when you're on the Today Show skiing, when you're coming in second at the Adaptive CrossFit Games, when you are talking about the challenges you have with going to the bathroom? What do you want people to learn from you?
I want people to know that, listen, life is not perfect. I think we have this idea of when I grow up, I'm going to have a husband and a dog and 3 children and a white picket fence. And I think that when that doesn't happen, all of a sudden we start thinking like awful things about ourselves. Like, did it not happen because I X, Y, and Z? So what I want people to know is that life is not perfect, and things are not going to be easy. But if you put your mind to it, you can do absolutely anything. I want people to know that. I want people to know that even in the awful days when things are horrific, right? I'm going to surgery in the middle of a pandemic. That's scary stuff. But at the same time, I want people to know that, listen, you need to be brave, and you need to be strong, and you need to take care of yourself. So hopefully in my social media posts, people can understand that. People can understand that, listen, things aren't right for me. Amy's in a wheelchair and she's skiing and she's climbing a mountain and she's doing all of these things. So you know what? I mean, my hair isn't perfect today. It's okay. I can still go outside. I mean, that's an extreme example, but you know what I'm saying. I'm hoping that I give people that hope that even if things totally collapse around you, you can still be an awesome, happy individual and do things that you never thought you could. You just may have to do them a little differently, and that's
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We need to be able to pivot, which I think a lot of people are learning to do in this health crisis, is figuring out what they're made of, right?
Oh, exactly. I mean, this is tough stuff. I mean, to be inside all the time. And, in Arizona, we are so lucky, we can go outside, as I've said, and, do the things, but it's tough. All of a sudden, you have gone from whatever your job was to still hopefully doing that job. But if not, now you're a teacher. Now you're a short order cook. Now you're a house cleaner. Now you're a psychologist. I mean, you're doing all of these things. This is tough. So, you know what? It's just to have that moment in the day to go, you know what? I'm going to give myself some grace because I am doing a lot. And even though, dinner was burnt and, we had smoke detectors going off, I'm talking about my house, actually. You know what? It's still fine, like just enjoy it. And life is too short to not enjoy everything. And I know it's tough right now. It's absolutely awful, but try to find one thing in a day that you just love. Like look at your kids and think that's an amazing thing that my body did to create those amazing individuals.
Mm-hmm. And we're being given the gift of time, which for a lot of us is difficult to find when we're overscheduled and crazy on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, absolutely. And isn't that wonderful? Like now you have time to read that book that you always wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you have time to, one of the things that I want to do is start reading the Bible. Maybe you have time to do that now. So you're right. We are given time. So use it and enjoy it.
You are doing a lot of beautiful things with your time. And one of the things that I love is that you've become this advocate for persons with disabilities and other SCI warriors. You created the Amy Van Dyken Foundation to help improve the lives of others with spinal cord injuries. Tell me a little bit about how rewarding that has been for you, because you said that this was an idea you came up with while you were still in the hospital after the accident.
Yeah, I remember being in the hospital and I was, talking to a friend of mine who was a quad. So, he was paralyzed from the neck down. And we're talking, and all of a sudden he said, hold on. And he said to his wife, hey, honey, can you scratch my nose for me? And I went, whoa, wait a minute. Like all of a sudden we've got all of these things that change and you can't even scratch your nose. Then you're told if you want to take a shower like a normal human, you need this chair that costs about $3,500 and good luck on getting insurance to pay for it. We need to use catheters, and a lot of times insurance doesn't pay for that. So I started realizing all of this, and I felt a need that I needed to help. So I started helping people with spinal cord injuries, and now I've gotten into the niche that I love. Is we are doing custom wheelchairs for kids 18 and under. Insurance won't allow them to have a custom wheelchair. They'd have to pay out of pocket, and these things are as much as a car. $12,000 can be the high end.
Mm-hmm.
And if you need a power chair, oh, heaven help you. But so that's what we do. So the kids can pick whatever they want, whatever color they want. If they want the wheels that light up when they spin, get that done for them. But now they can be in a wheelchair that fits them. So they're not having skin issues. They're not having shoulder, elbow, wrist issues because they have to use that forever. Mom can pick up this wheelchair that, the one that I'm in with the wheels on right now weighs less than 20 pounds. The ones that insurance allows them to have is about 70 pounds. So it's very different, and it makes you feel awesome when you get in that wheelchair that sparkles and blings and all the things. So we're doing that for kids, hoping to get into the homeless and the disabled veterans community. It does take time and it does take money. So we're going to rock it out. It's been amazing. It's been fun to work with these kids. I work with the kids, not with their parents. I mean, we have the parents on the line when we're talking, but the kids tell me and the wheelchair company what they want. And that wheelchair company, I will give them whatever it takes to make that happen for that kid.
And when you see that kid receiving that wheelchair that is exactly how they want it, half one color, half sparkly, whatever it is, what is that feeling like for you?
Oh my gosh. I remember when we gave our first one and I just lost it. I was like, excuse me, I have to go get something out of my car. And I just started bawling because our first girl, her name was Emma, and she's here in the Valley. And she was homeschooled. and she was homeschooled because she was so embarrassed of her wheelchair. And I remember her looking at her mom, and I don't know if she knew that we heard her. She does now, because I've, told the story 1,000 times, but she looked at her mom and she goes, "Hey mom, I want to start going to real kids school." Oh. Emma goes to real kids school.
Oh,
and
that gives me chills.
I'm so excited for her. Like, it changed her whole life, and it just means everything to me. We've got a young man who was shot 7 times in Columbine, who's homeless and had the same wheelchair that he had when he was injured at Columbine. It was falling apart. So we got him a wheelchair, and he's excited to go out and to find a job when all of this is over. It really does help you feel good, because think about if you have a pair of shoes, Catherine, right, that are either too big or too tight. Like, you don't want to be in them. They're not comfortable. And that's what this wheelchair is. It's not comfortable when it doesn't feel right. You don't want to be in it. You just feel icky and gross. But when you get in one that you can do wheelies and you can spin around, you just feel fabulous. And it means everything to those kids. So I am so glad that I fell into that niche. It's amazing.
Well, it changes your self-esteem, your self-confidence. I can't imagine what that must be like for you to witness that, not just once, but several times. So thank you for that. And you have Amy's Army that we can all join in and help you continue to service others this way. So tell me a little bit about how people can get involved in the foundation and Amy's Army.
Thank you. Yeah, you go to amyvandyken.org. I like to keep things simple, Catherine, because I tend to forget things. So I just use my name for everything. So
I love it.
Right, it's simple. amyvandyken.org. And you can go there and you can browse, you can donate. We've got shirts and things that you can buy so you can wear them and tell everybody that you're a part of Amy's Army. And then, just so you know, I don't have a big board, and I do not pay my board. So I may take them to dinner once a year to say thank you, but that's it. So 99 cents out of every dollar goes to the children. So become a part of Amy's Army. And I always love it when people on their social media take pictures of them and their shirts in different places around the world. I always try to repost and all of that, because it really is cool. So do that and it'll be fun.
Awesome. I love it. Okay, so it's amyvandyken.org. That's where we can go. We are part of Amy's Army. We've been from day one. Amy, thank you so much for all that you do to spread positivity, inspiration, encouragement, love. I'm going to get so emotional.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. It means a lot to hear that from you, because I respect you so much and what you did in your career on TV and what you are doing now. So for you to say that, it means everything to me. Thank you so much.
I remember how we met. It was in a nightclub.
years
ago. I think it was 2009. And I hear this, Catherine Anaya, because you were on the radio locally. And I knew who you were, but I didn't know you in person. And you were just such a gift. You radiated then and you radiate now. So I thank you for your friendship, for your courage, positivity, inspiration, all of it. You're a blessing.
Oh, thank you. And I can't wait to church with you with the Butterfinger lattes again. Yes.
Yes. And the donuts. You can learn more about Amy Van Dyken by going to our website, thewomenseye.com. Amy, thank you for being you. We also want to remind our viewers and listeners that The Women's Eye has a book. It's called 20 Women Changemakers. You can shop for it wherever you buy books and at changemakersbook.com. We need to get you in the next book for sure.
I would love it. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, and that's going to do it for this episode of the Women's Eye podcast. Thank you, Amy, and thank you, everyone, for joining me. I'm Catherine Anaya. Until next time, remember, it's the world as we see it.